What's up guys, JT over at Team FAS Motorsports, and in today's video we're going to be doing a clutch kit on a 2020 CFmoto Cforce 600. Owner just complained it felt a little sluggish. It's a pretty fairly new machine. I mean, yeah, it's a couple years old, but it only has about 300 miles on it. They don't use it much, but it just felt sluggish. So what we're going to do is we contacted RNG Performance, got their clutch kit. So we have the primary with their weights, their helix, we got the clutch spreader, and a brand new belt from them as well to put on this machine. So there are a couple things that you need as far as tools to do this install. It's not hard, but we'll just run through those with you quick. You need some extensions, ratchet, and an 8mm to get the cover off. Then you have your clutch bolts, which are reverse thread. So you have an 18mm, and then you need a 32mm. So that'll go ahead and take that primary clutch off of the machine. So in the instructions here, in the RNG instructions, if you scan these QR codes, it will show you a video that he did as well on this. But I just figured I'd do one while I had it here in the shop, in case I came across anything that he missed. Another thing to mention is, and we'll show you, definitely mark your clutch before you take it off. They do have to be clocked in a certain position, so the marker comes in handy. So we'll go ahead and get this thing raised up in the air, and I'll show you how to get the clutch cover off and go from there. All right, so on the CFmoto, this is, like I said, a Cforce 600. You do have this outer cover. This isn't your clutch cover. This is just a outer cover to finish everything off, keep your, I guess, leg away from the inner clutch cover. So that's just a couple Allen keys, Allen bolts here that we're gonna take out. Okay, so there's just 3 of those Allens. You can see that right there. And then these are going to be all your 8mm that we're going to take off next. So there's a total of 8 that you have to loosen. Right. Once you have your clutch removed, clutch cover removed, this is going to be your 18, and then the inner one is the 32. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this clutch off, we'll get the belt off, then we're going to take some air and just blow everything out, make sure all the dust is out of everything before we reassemble. So we'll hop in and get that done next. Okay, so there's 2 sets of threads on this. So it'll thread, then it'll stick back in position, and it'll thread out the rest of the way. So I normally break it loose and then just do it by hand so you don't mess anything up in there. There you go, that bolts out. Now before we go any further, we're gonna mark the clutches. There you go, so you can see that's lined up right here on the front and the back. Let's get you in there better. Right here, we just put a mark in the front and the rear, so you can just get it right back where it has to be and not worry about having to figure out how to clock it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take off our 32mm. Okay, now we got a clutch off, got our old primary spring, and there are some washers, and we'll go over that in a minute, tell you how the washers go. The fatter one goes on the outside, skinnier one on the inside, so we'll go over those as well though. So now we're gonna take the secondary off. That I forgot to mention before, but that is a 36. And that one is not reverse threads, it is normal. So you wanna just take that one off. Okay, get that off now. And next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our spreader tool and get the belt off. Okay, so you take your belt off, and here's your secondary. All right, so we're over here at the bench now. This is on the primary, and that is our mark that we put on it for on the machine. But there's also another one. There's this small dot right there. It's the only one that has it, and that lines up with that small line there. So again, just easiest, take a marker, mark those two, and everything will go back together smooth. So we'll take this off. Now these I guess you call them little clips here that go on there. Make sure those don't come off. They are removable, so just make sure those are all good. And now here's all of your stock weights. Just check everything for any sort of excessive wear. This machine, like I said, has only about 300 miles on it, so we're going to take these out and replace all of these weights that are inside. You're just going to take a small pick or a screwdriver and just pop that out. Take your new one, press it right in there. Now these have to sit down there flush, so just make sure you're aware of that. That's it. Just grab a hold of it, pop that out. It comes out like that. Take your new weight, make sure it's even, and those slide right back in. That's basically how you switch those out. Now again, this is all dusty in here. You definitely want to get some air or some brake parts cleaner and clean up on the inside of this. Make sure it's all nice and dust free before you put it back together. I'm just going to show you here how much dirt and dust is actually in here. That's it. Get that all nice and cleaned up. Give it a quick wipe, and you're ready to put this back together. Make sure, obviously, this is fully dried out before you do put everything back in. All right, so after we have the weights all swapped out, we're going to go ahead and find that mark, which is right here. That's going to go on that one, and that'll line up with that line right there. So that's all done, and we'll move over to the secondary, show you guys how to do that one. So here we go. We have our spring compressor tool. Take that out. All right. Now you're going to want to take off your spreader tool. You're going to take your clutch, slide it right over, obviously with the helix facing up. You're going to get your cup, slide it right down on there. Take your washers, those on, grab the nuts. If you need any of these tools or the clutch kit itself, we are a dealer for RNG Performance. We sell all of their clutch parts, their tools. We also have other brands of tools available for clutching and just working on all sorts of stuff on our website, teamfasmotorsports.com. All right, that's down on there like that. Give these a couple turns. Don't over tighten them, but just a couple turns to hold that spring down on there. That's all you want to do. You don't want to go crazy with these at all. Now, right here is a snap ring, so we have to go ahead and take that off. Okay. So you're going to grab your snap ring. You can leave that right there as long as it's off. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this out. Okay, so what this is here is, this is a keyway. That's what it's called. So we'll go ahead and show you where that goes on the way back in. But this is the secondary spring. You can see it is binding right there. So that is an issue. You can see all this dust in here. There's a ton of dust. We're gonna go ahead and obviously blow that all out, make sure everything here is good. And we'll just examine it and we'll get the new helix in. So you definitely want to go ahead and wipe down your spring. Again, the more dust that's out of this, the better. As you can see, that was just dust off the spring. Go ahead and clean this up a little bit. We're gonna reuse that secondary spring and install the new helix. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is just take some air and get all this dust out of here. Now, when you put your spring back in, your instructions from RNG will come with a letter and a number. So over here, you'll see it has B, you know, A right here, B or C. That's the position that you want your spring to go back into when reinstalling. So we're gonna be doing the B position on this one and the number 2. On the helix, you have your numbers. Again, we're doing B2 on this. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this lined up into position 2. And at this time, we can go ahead and run this down. Now actually, before I put that on there, let me show you this. This is your keyway hole. That's what fell out before. That is gonna go into this hole right here, this groove. So that is important to do. I'll go ahead and get that back in position 2. Okay. Next, you're going to come back with your tool. You want to get some good threads on there. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten her down. Okay, so now that we got this down on here, you'll see we have to turn this to line the keyways up. Okay, so actually I'm hitting, so I have to come up a little ways to get that to be able to clear so I can rotate this and drop the keyway in. Okay, so as we have that, just gonna go ahead and get our keyway in there. Thing we gotta do here is, you can see these are gonna hit, so you have to back this out so we can clock it. And grab the lower sheave, turn that so that these ramps are going to rest on there. And we're going to go ahead and go down with it. So now you do want enough where you can get that snap ring back into place. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get the C-clamp on. Just make sure it's sitting flush in that groove all the way around. Once you get your C-clip in, you can go ahead and back this out. That's it, so now your secondary is installed. We'll go ahead and get our spreader tool. Get this threaded back in. Only one of these holes is threaded. I found out in the RNG video. So I'll go ahead and make sure you get in the right one. So now that's all spread. Let's go ahead and get this lined up. All right, just like that. Once the secondary's on, go ahead and take our new belt, again from RGM Performance. These are all available on our website, clutch kits, everything, teamfasmotorsports.com. We'll be happy to get you guys set up with a CFmoto clutch kit from RNG. I know they are working on some other clutch kits as well right now. I believe KRX 1000 is currently what he's working on. So these belts don't seem to be, they are directional, they have an arrow. So make sure you have that going on the proper way. All right, that's there. Now again, we have our 2 washers. The skinny metal one to the back, thicker one in the front. Slide those on. Thread your nut in by hand. Okay, take your spreader tool out. Spin your clutch. So the belt comes back up on there. You'll see it rides right back up to the top where it belongs. All right. Now we'll get our primary spring. This is the new primary spring from RNG. Just sit that right in there. Now you're gonna find the mark that you made on your clutch. Line it up with the mark on the other one. Double check, everything's lined up good. Remember, these are reverse. Get that started. Now that you got that on there, hand tight, again, remember, reverse threads. So your gun is gonna run in reverse. Take that. That's it. Make sure that's nice and tight. All right, now you're gonna take your bolt. Again, it's double threads. So you'll thread this one on. Okay, and then you see where it goes past that first set of threads, right there. You'll hit the second set. Thread those in by hand. As soon as they're started, you'll be good on that one. And once that's done, we'll grab our 36. And now remember, this is normal thread. That's that one. That's all lined up. You can go ahead and put your machine in neutral and then just give these a couple spins. That'll help seat the belt. I'll take the slack out of it for you. All right, we're gonna give everything one last blow with the air gun here. Now we'll put our cover back on. So make sure that seats properly in there. What I like to do is I use the two top ones here just to hold everything in position. And then I'll start on the bottom and just make sure, I'll go every other one, just make sure everything's seated flush. You don't want to go tight on any of them yet because they do kind of self-center. Now we'll go ahead and take our plastic piece that takes the Allens. Get that lined up back in place. Has a little tab down here that lines up. Press that in. And then the rest will be the Allens. Again, this is just a cover. You don't have to go crazy with these bolts. Just enough to keep them in there. Well, that's that. Side covers on. All right, so that's all there is to it on the RNG Performance clutch kit for the CFmoto. This was on the 600, but I know he did say it covers, it's basically the same clutch on quite a few models, if not all the models, on the newer CFmoto lineups. So again, RNG Performance clutch kit, CFmoto 600. We appreciate you guys watching. Check out our merch shop, fasmerch.shop. And if you need performance parts or anything for your CFmoto, clutch kitting, RNG stuff, give us a call, 914-799-5558, or check us out at www.teamfasmotorsports.com. I just want to give a quick shout out to some of our affiliates, Blenders, Eyewear, Brunt, Work Gear, bunch of stuff out there. There's affiliate links in the description. There's a number of them, AMSOIL, there's a bunch of links there that'll save you some money, and obviously we'll get a little kickback on that, of course, and help support the channel. Again, if you found it useful, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.